Good morning, everybody. This is Eddie Taylor with the Northern Santa Barbara County United Way. This is the United Voices Community Conversations. We're here today with a special guest, Rachel King, who's traveled a long ways to be with us and has a story to tell about an education program we've been involved with for over 15 years now. Rachel's going to give us some real details, and then we're going to talk about some specifics of the program and the impacts that we've had over the last, how long have we been doing the Imagination Library? 1995.
30 years next year.
Yeah. So, Rachel, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Eddie. It's absolutely my pleasure to be here today. So thank you for inviting me to join United Voices. Yes, my name's Rachel King. I'm the Senior Regional Director at the Dollywood Foundation. That's Dolly Parton's nonprofit. And don't be confused by my very strong Tennessee accent. I'm actually British, and I live up in the Bay Area. But I work for the foundation, and I oversee the 6 states on this side of the U.S. So I look after Alaska, Hawaii, Nevada, Washington, Oregon, and California. So that is my role, and I have the absolute pleasure of working with our community partners every day to help them to bring the Imagination Library to the hands, homes, and hearts of children across these states. So thank you for having me today to talk about this.
We're really glad to have you. And I got to tell you, I didn't actually realize you cover Hawaii too. So you actually get to take some business trips to Hawaii. Maybe by the end of this podcast or this series of podcasts we have planned with you, we'll have some idea of how we might be able to collaborate on a trip to Hawaii. Would the foundation pick that up for me?
I'm still figuring out how to get there myself, Eddie. I'm very much focused in California right now.
Should be easy then. Hey, you need an assistant to go to Hawaii with you. So, Rachel, tell us a little bit more about your path to the foundation. I mean, how did you get involved with the foundation? What were you doing before you joined the group?
My original career, back a long time ago, I was working in transportation in the UK. So I worked in London, working with the London transport system, and I always had community at the focus of my life. So my role there was to help to support our passengers and our people who live and use our public transport network, and I did that for 10 years. And then I realized I just loved serving, and who are the best, most fun people to work with? And that's children. So I retrained as a high school teacher. So I was actually teaching 11 to 18 in the UK before I moved over to the United States. And I've been here for 10 years now. And it's my absolute pleasure to be here. Originally here for 2, and I'm still here. And I can see a long time continuing. But I came and focused in the education world here. And I've done various roles. My last role previous to this was a nonprofit that focused on work readiness, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship.
Financial literacy. Good, we're going to touch on that a little
Yeah,
later.
yes. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I found about this role at the Dollywood Foundation. And it piqued my interest because it was an age group I'd never focused on before, but it was really where my heart lay, and that is literacy. And not just the ability to read, but the ability to comprehend, the ability to enjoy time together, and the ability to be able to help children reach their goals. So I have been here for 18 months. It's been the absolute highlight of my career so far, mainly because I get to meet wonderful people and travel around who have the same drive and passion as I do. And that is to serve our youngest learners.
Well, I can tell you from my seat, I've been doing this, as we talked about at the opening, over 15 years we've been partnered with the foundation. And there was somebody really wonderful, Pam Hunsaker, we got to mention. You call her Pam-tastic? Pam-tastic, right? And she was great in helping us get started, and then, helping us maintain over the years. But there's been a lot of changes that we're going to talk about. I'm curious, though, you were in England. Mm-hmm. Were you aware of the Imagination Library's presence in England before you found out about the foundation here?
No, I wasn't, because it was 10 years ago. So I think we do have a program in the UK. We have a program in 5 countries. So we're in the US, Canada, UK, Australia, and Ireland. But I hadn't been aware of this prior to that. And maybe that's because I was teaching at an older age group. But I tell you, my family know, and my mum knows, and she's mentioned a few times she's seen Dolly on the TV on some of our kind of prime time shows talking about the Imagination Library. So everybody at home is aware, and it's growing over there as well. And, there's more Dolly fans in my hometown than I think there ever was before.
How did you get involved with literacy? I mean, at a young age?
Well, so I think it's just always been one of those pieces, being in an education setting and working with lots of children over time. I mean, when I was a classroom teacher, I was actually seeing over 300 students a week because I was a subject teacher. As you go through, and we see, and in the UK, I taught 11 to 18-year-olds, so it's a large age group.
Yeah,
but you can see some of the challenges that come with literacy along the way. And it's not about testing and the ability to read to a group. That is there, but it's everything else. To be able to be successful in maths, science, all of those subjects, you need to have those foundations. And I just feel that literacy is one of those things that we just need to focus on from day one, from zero. If children can hear those words and then they can start to see those pictures, it all comes together for them. So there's so many different factors that go to children feeling successful, and I feel literacy is one of those key pieces to help them to access that world so they can enjoy it and they can aspire to be whatever they dream about, because it does start with being able to access information, and information comes in many forms, and one of those is written.
You sound a lot like Dolly at the moment, okay? I'm just going to put that out there. If she listens to this podcast, she's going to be going, I've been cloned. So let's switch gears a little bit, because, without Dolly's vision for this program, obviously it wouldn't have happened, but how did she get started?
Wow. So Dolly actually started her foundation back in 1988. So the Imagination Library started in 1995, and Dolly started her foundation just in her home county, Sevier County, Tennessee. And originally, she wanted to come up with, she did various things, and she wanted to come up with a program that would help to inspire a love of books and reading. And it comes very much from a personal place for Dolly. And originally, she just wanted to start this in her home county. But Dolly talks a lot about the inspiration for this was her father. Her father had challenges in terms of reading and writing, and she saw that held him back from achieving some of his dreams. So she wanted, this program is inspired by her father so that everybody can have access to books from a very young age. And again, it started in Sevier County, but it blossomed. So Tennessee, and now we're in 50 states and 5 countries. And currently, we are mailing out 3 million books a month. So that is 36 million books a year that are going out to our youngest learners. And that's 1 in 7 children are doing this, which came from a small program that Dolly hoped to start. Right. And now we are
1 in 7 children.
1 in 7 children in the U.S.
There's a stat on my page that I'm looking at. I'm going, really? Okay, everybody, wait a minute, time out. Count to 1. By the time you did that, you heard it, you did it, and you thought about it, 3 more kids were enrolled in the Imagination Library, because you're enrolling a child every 1.07 seconds. I wonder who did that math, right?
Yeah.
Somebody who's pretty good at math, I'm sure. Some of this other stuff, 28 million books distributed in the USA, and growth last year of 19.4%.
Yeah.
What caused all that growth?
Over time, we've seen more and more of our state programs where we're having our states involved to help to bring this to every single child. The Dollywood Foundation has also increased their staff to be able to increase their team, to be able to help to really shift some of these pieces to support our local community partners. Because, Eddie, the key thing about this program, it is a community-based book gifting program that is successful because of our community partners. And Dolly says that is the heart of the program. This is where the magic happens, and that's at community level. So we've increased that support to try and support our programs further so that they can feel successful, increase those enrollments, start new programs, and get books to even more children. I mean, we're at 3 million, 1 in 7. Our dreamer-in-chief, Dolly, is our inspiration, and we know we can do even more. And with the support of programs like yours, we can help children reach even more of their goals and their dreams.
Goals and dreams. Mm-hmm. That's what our program is all about.
Yeah.
In a little while later, or in another session, we'll talk about how we've established what we call Literacy 2.0. Mm-hmm. I want everybody to understand it's off the basis of the Imagination Library. We start at 0, mm-hmm. right? And our program goes 0 to 18. We recognize that there's a lot of growth strategies along the way, not just for the kids, but also for the parents. We were early on with the Imagination Library. We recognize that in our community, we have a lot of parents who don't read English. Back then, we only had books in English. Mm-hmm. There was a couple in Spanish, but what we realized, learned actually, is that it didn't matter if they could read. If they could tell a story by looking at the pictures in the book and turn the pages, then they were reading to their children.
Yes.
And that's what we've been able to work with families on in an area where we have a lot of families who don't read English. Some of our families' parents don't read.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been able to overcome that. Now, 1 in 7, it's probably, I don't think we're quite there here yet, but we are going to surpass that. And in our next session, we're going to go a little bit deeper about how we're going to work together with the foundation to get to that goal. We're going to blow that goal away, as a matter of fact.
I don't doubt it.
Then 1 in 7 is like, we'll look back and go, hey, they talked about 1 in 7. How about 100%?
Wow, I'd love that.
That is our strategy. That is our plan. But we're going to talk about that in our next session. We're going to close this up, and just some closing thoughts from you, Rachel, about how the impact of Dolly's work, your work, our work, what it's doing, and what your vision is about how it can help to change our communities and our world.
I love that opportunity. These books are for the entire family, and I love how you alluded to that, Eddie. So this is a gift to the family to enjoy as a family, and there's all those key metrics where we're looking at, increased kindergarten readiness rates, or more increased reading at home. But really, it's all about the heart as well. It's about the families spending time together. It's about the families enjoying those books together, learning new things, and really just becoming embroiled in this world that is what books bring to us. Our vision is we recently had the pleasure of having statewide legislation passed, so that now we have some state support and funding to grow these programs. So ours is to get it to as many children in California as possible. We want to roll this program out to all 58 counties, and we want to eventually reach, we have 2.4 million 0 to 5-year-olds in California.
Yes.
And you all started it right here. There's a few programs that have been around for 15 years in California. You are the start, and we want to continue to help others and inspire other counties to bring this program so that everybody can enjoy this gift.
Yeah, we want to help you any way we can, because we've seen the impact that this has. We'll talk about Primavera in one of our sessions too. But for today, it's going to end our session. Rachel King, it's been a pleasure having you here chatting with us about the Imagination Library and literacy, right? And your path. So we're going to close this session. We're going to thank Jacob Martin for his technical assistance. Thank Rachel King for being here. And we're going to remind the audience that you can find these podcasts on Spotify, YouTube, and other podcast channels. Please come back and tune in. We'll have Rachel back. And the next time, I think we'll go a little bit deeper about this California initiative and what a game changer that was. So tune in again. Thank you, everybody. This is Eddie Taylor with the United Voices Community Conversations. We'll see you on the next podcast.